So, Emily, SNL comes out last night and plenty of things to discuss. I mean, I for one, really thought they should have taken that Microsoft opener with like, I am blonde with blue eyes and I have white skin and I did bad things to Native Americans, whatever, that long, weird. But no, they left that goodness on the editing room floor and instead went, this just is so telling. This is their take on Virginia and why it happened. Watch.
Judge Janine, thank you for having me. My win in Virginia proves that people are deeply concerned about education.
And who are most of your voters?
People who didn't go to college.
Excellent. Now, critical race theory is something you talked about a lot. What is critical race theory?
Simple. It's what got me elected. I invited the leader of my parental task force to share her recommendations on dangerous material that should be banned.
When my son brought home the book Beloved by Toni Morrison, I put down my copy of 50 Shades and said, no. A woman named Toni? Not in my America. So a group of parents and I put together our list of books that should never be allowed in the classroom. Holes sound sexual. Pride and Prejudice? Prejudice is fine. But pride is a term that has been co-opted by the gays.
That's disgusting. That's what they think of America.
It's also just the mediocrity of our educated sort of like elites in the perfect form, because these jokes aren't funny. They're not rooted in any reality. This is like completely not what happened in Virginia. Our team at the Federalist was out in Loudoun County reporting on some of the parent activists, Black Americans, immigrants. I mean, there's so many people who were upset by the real things that were happening in Loudoun County and in their state that motivated it. So to just, and the college educated barred, the people who didn't go to college jab, is also a perfect indictment on the contemporary left and how it sort of morphed from a movement that wanted to represent labor and the working class into a movement that actually actively has contempt for the working class, because on these cultural issues, they look down on the working class, and they regularly implicate the working class in all kinds of evil. There's a tweet going around now saying if you're not Black and you're using the term woke pejoratively, it's a racial slur. It's like actually amazing how the way that we've inflated the definitions of racism and bigotry and hatred implicates everybody who doesn't happen to be an educated cultural leftist elite in all of these terrible things that we have worked so hard in this country, spilled blood, sweat, tears to stigmatize and to erase from our culture is remarkable. And that, I think, really does show the contempt they have for people who are outside of their class. You know, they didn't even make a joke. They just said they're not college educated. There's not even a joke there. That's the punchline.
The language policing, by the way, is so annoying. So you can't say woke now unless you're Black and you're saying it in a positive way. If you say it in a way that's negative and you're not Black, then it's a racial slur. Well, woke. You don't control me. I'm going to say what I want. It's like, I remember years ago, I was talking to Bernie Goldberg. This is like, a harbinger of things to come. And he used the term midget. And I'm like, you're not supposed to say midget. You're supposed to say little person. This is live on the air. And his response was midget. And I was like, because I'm on television, we're all like, oh, he said the thing. But honestly, it's like they leave you no choice. The word policing, the thought policing. And to your point, that was the line, right? Oh, it's people who did not go to college, because they could not possibly give two shits what happens to their children in K through 12 education. They're too dumb. It parlays perfectly to that Don Lemon segment. Perfectly.
It's so perfect, actually, and I was just going to go back to that because it shows how some of these people who are, and I think it's some mediocrity. I think that's really the best word to use in this circumstance, because their ideas go wildly unchallenged, and that's why they think you just have all of these uneducated rubes coming out to vote for Glenn Youngkin, white uneducated rubes coming out to vote for Glenn Youngkin, who, by the way, the indications are that he did fantastically well with the Hispanic vote. That's why they think this, because their ideas are never challenged, because they have created this world in which everything that is a challenge to them is actually bigotry and racism racism, and they don't have to listen to it. And that's how this really sick ideology metastasized. And it is our governing ideology because it's coming from the heights of every major institution, whether it's Saturday Night Live, Don Lemon, whose show is not very highly rated, but CNN is one of the top news websites in the world, one of the top websites in the world. These are people with a whole lot of power, and they are the ones that are governing us with their entirely hollow and sick morality. And it actually puts working people down. It puts normal people down. People are getting really fed up with it. That's how you get Youngkin. So SNL using people's lack of a college education as a literal punchline, it's so counterproductive.